Before guns and bows dominated warfare, there was a weapon so deceptively simple that entire armies feared the sound of stones cutting through the air. This is the Balearic Sling, a strip of woven cord capable of launching rocks faster than most people realize, with enough force to chip armor, break bones, and kill at astonishing distances. And today I'm going to make one entirely out of modern materials, in this case, paracord, multi-purpose nylon rope that isn't just for bracelets. But the strange thing is, the deeper I got into making this thing, the more it stopped feeling like your average paracord craft project and started feeling like a connection to something ancient. We're using none other than nylon rope or paracord from paracordweavers.com. Check us out for the best cord and kits for this amazing hobby. Now you can use 550 paracord for this, but I'm actually going to use 275 for a lighter weight sling. I'll get into why that matters later. First, we have to create the finger loops. And from the midpoint of my long cords, I'm going to tie a snake knot using both sets of cords. Just make an overhand loop with one set of cords around the other. Then the second set wraps around the first, behind, and then through the overhand loop first made. So this is just like a regular snake knot, but using 4 cords. This is going to create 2 loops of about 3 inches. These loops will make our finger loops as we fold them down, and then I'm going to use some additional cord to tie Solomon knots around them for structure. So in case you aren't familiar with slings, the style of sling we're making is called a Balearic Sling. This is a historically renowned hand-braided weapon that originated from the Balearic Islands. Now these used to be made of natural fibers like hemp or jute, but I'm hoping that paracord can update this age-old design. I am of course not the first to do this, but I'm attempting to use my experience with knots to make my own fun and interesting take. So what's interesting to me about the rock sling is that it just seems so unassuming. It's a piece of rope with a separation in the middle. You wouldn't think of it as a weapon of war, but it was. Apparently, the Balearic slingers who were indigenous to the aforementioned islands off the coast of Spain were so good with the slings that they became highly sought after mercenaries in the ancient world, especially by the Carthaginians. They were legendary in their own time and often very feared because of what they could do with this simple weapon. But when you fully understand what's actually going on when you use a sling, it's actually quite terrifying as it acts as an extension of your arm, and it's basically multiplying the power of your throw via rotational acceleration. Primal Slinging did a great video about this that I'll link. And by the way, when forming these finger loops, you might have to adjust the size of them to ensure they're large enough for comfort and the thickness of the cobra knots, so it could take a couple of tries. Ancient man originally used the sling as a means of survival for hunting. However, over time they were adapted as a weapon for shepherds to defend their herds, and then further developed into a weapon of war, as previously mentioned. So this was basically the projectile weapon of choice before the proliferation of the bow and arrow. And honestly, weaving and making this by hand allowed me to start to understand why traditional slings looked the way they did and why they were so effective. I mean, all you need is some kind of rope and you can make a weapon. And as for the ammo, well, it's basically free. Just look for some on the ground. And with the finger loops reinforced, we can cut off the excess strands, melt the ends, and press down on them to lock them in place. And by the way, if you're enjoying this kind of content, I humbly ask that you please like and subscribe, as it lets me know to keep making more of what you're seeing. Now to form the main body of the sling, we're going to go with the 4-strand round braid. The traditional Balearic slings used a flat braid, but I think this method is the easiest, as all you have to do is cross the strands going between the pairs of colors going back and forth. You only have to pay attention to which cord crosses over the top and under, and if you do it wrong, the braid won't lock down, so you'll know right away. So you essentially want to cross the strands over diagonally to their opposite side, and once you do, the braid will lock in. Also notice, I'm crossing over the strands of the same color, which is going to make the braid have 2 continuous accents of color. If you want to change that up for a different look, what you can do instead is cross over opposing colors, and that's going to give you a slightly different look with alternating accents. It's entirely up to you, and just continue weaving to form that braid. We can make a more traditional looking Balearic sling in the future if you guys are interested, which we can do with paracord, which I did try as well, so let me know in the comments if you want to see that too. But first things first, of course, we'll continue making this one. So after weaving about 24 inches, I'm going to start my split pouch. Using the 2 outer braid strands, I'm going to tie 2 Solomon knots to lock the cords down from the braid. It's probably been most widely used as a knot for paracord bracelets, but I truly believe it's one of the most important knots to master, as it can be used for many applications within paracord crafting, like what we're doing now, but also for strap making, belt loops, keychains, and other elements of paracord crafting. As I mentioned, the more traditional looking Balearic slings use a flat braid, which you'll see with slings made of natural fiber materials like hemp or jute. These Solomon knots are the very same we used to form the finger loops. This knot is also known as the cobra knot, mainly in the paracord world, but I do believe Solomon knot is the proper name in terms of knot tying. With these knots tied though, and then we'll have 2 pairs of cords with which we will incorporate our third length of cord. With this cord, each side will start weaving fishtail weaves around each of the pairs of cords on either side. Each single cord just does a figure 8 pattern going around each pair. Now, one thing to keep in mind when making the split pouch is that the longer the pouch section, the bigger the ammo it can accommodate. This also means that it may not be able to throw smaller stones if you make it too long. But we'll be adding something to this pouch later to remedy that. So I wove a pouch of about 5 inches long. I wove each of the sides going back and forth, but you can do one at a time if you want. Now, I've been talking about slings this entire time, but did you know there are actually different kinds of slings out there? As I've already mentioned, the style we're making is the Balearic, but there also exists the shepherd sling. The main difference between these two is the pouch. This split pouch we're making is the signature of the Balearic. As for shepherd slings, that style of sling is the type that uses a solid pouch that isn't split. The pouch is often made of leather or even some type of fabric material. That being said, there are also shepherd slings where the pouch is made from the same material as the rest of the sling. There's also the 2 leather strip pouch as well, and I think that one's considered shepherd too. So you know what, I'm not an expert, but that's what I've come across at least. Now, I can't say which one is better than the other as I don't have a ton of experience with them, but from what I can tell, it mainly depends on the type of sling ammo you plan on using, and also if you're going for power, accuracy, and/or distance. But if you've never used one before, I'd highly suggest trying out my super simple single strand rock sling that I made a video about several months ago. So with the split pouch section woven, to transition from the split pouch back to the round braid, we're going to once again tie 2 Solomon knots. Now don't worry about the loose strands on the split pouch either just yet. We will get back to those a bit later. And then resume the same 4-strand braid for this side. However, this side is going to be 25 inches long. Now, as I was saying, this weapon was so legendary that the art of Balearic slinging still lives on to this day in real life and not just on the internet. There are communities and groups of competitive slingers that continue to practice and master this art, and they are so good at it. Now, I don't imagine myself ever getting to their level unless I dedicate a lot of practice to it, but I think making this sling is a start. Some of these Balearic slinger dudes have dedicated years to mastering the technique, and they can probably shoot the wings off a fly at this point. Though the sling may appear primitive, that doesn't necessarily mean ineffective. A skilled slinger could hurl stones with terrifying momentum, which is why they were so feared. With the main body done, we now need our stopper knot. And we're going to go back to the well with a snake knot using both pairs of cords. But this time it's going to be a double snake knot. So just tie the snake knot and then double up the cords a second time. I figured a larger knot on this side would be easier to grip. This is the exact same knot like from the start, but each set of cords will make 1 extra loop around to make it a double snake knot. If this is confusing at all, try practicing with 2 strands instead of 4. Cinch that knot right up to the 4-strand braided end. This release point is what you'll be gripping onto to loose the sling when using it. Leave 3-inch tails after the snake knot. Now going back to the pouch, we're going to lock down the fishtail strands just by opening up the last fishtail weave and then passing the running end through it to make an overhand knot. Do this for both sides, of course. So now as you can see here, this pouch is great for tennis ball sized ammo, but smaller rocks would slip through the split in the pouch, which is where this next mod comes in. We're going to take another piece of cord and using a lacing needle, we're going to pass both ends through the back of the pouch near the middle and cross the strands over on the inside and then pass them through the other side of the pouch. Now I am using a lacing needle for this part, but if you don't have one, you can always use a pair of needle nose pliers or hemostats to pull the cord through. The weaves of the fishtail can also be pulled open a bit, even with something like a pointed chopstick. And as a last resort, you can also take a lighter to the end of your cord to melt it slightly and stiffen it so that it can be pushed through. Now it's also up to you where you want to put this cord. I'm just aiming for the dead center and not too wide. I'm going to end up on the back and then tie double overhand knots with the ends. Now this is known as the Smile Sling mod, and it was created by Practical Paracord. It's a great mod to incorporate into the sling because you can adjust the length of the cord to control how much the pouch opens up so it can use smaller ammo if needed. Now, if you watch videos of expert slingers, whether they're using the Balearic Sling or any other one for that matter, there's often a super satisfying whip crack when they release the sling. In order to achieve that, we're going to need a whip cracker or popper, which we can make with some microcord. We're going to be using what's called the Flemish twist to make this cracker. An easy way to do this is to fold the microcord in half, then pinch the two running ends with your opposite thumb and index, twist both running ends by rubbing them in between your fingers, then let go of the midpoint in the opposite hand, and the twisted cracker will form. And this part might be hard to see, but with my left hand, I'm twisting away from myself, and the cracker that is being formed on the right side is twisting towards me. So after each successive twist, I'm going to hold it in place with my fingers on the right. So repeat this a few times until you have about 5 inches, and then lock it off with an overhand knot. If you don't have microcord, you can also use the inner guts from some 550 paracord to make one. And I show you how to do that in my original sling video, so check that one out if you want to see that method. At the end of the day as well, all of this is a guide for you to experiment with. If you feel you want to take some creative liberties to do something that works better for yourself, of course, feel free to do so and let me know how it goes in the comment section. To connect the cracker to the end of the sling, we're just going to slightly untwist the end, and then pass one of the tails after the snake knot through the twist, and then lock it down with an overhand knot. The purpose of this cracker isn't practical by any real means, so it's completely optional. It is a bit for the cool factor, but it can also be used as a method of feedback to gauge your technique and consistency. The traditional Balearic Sling doesn't have a cracker on it, but even without it, they can still pop. So imagine how terrifying it would be to hear hundreds of these cracking, only to have a shower of rocks come your way soon after. And by the way, did you know when a whip cracker or popper cracks from a whip or sling, it's actually a mini sonic boom that is breaking the sound barrier? That's right, the bullwhip is purportedly the first man-made device to break the sound barrier. Pretty cool. So I think learning how to use a sling isn't all that difficult, but actually mastering it to a degree of proficiency and accuracy is what's very hard. But you don't need to be a master to have fun with one, as you're about to see. Now before we get to using this bad boy, a quick word about sling length. I have created a 28-inch sling, and that's the length of the sling folded in half. A good way to determine sling length for your body is to hold both ends of the sling, and the pouch should be touching the ground when your hand is hanging at your side. Or you can fold the sling in half and measure from the center of your body to your outstretched arm and thumb. This is a good length for balanced precision, control, and power, as I've been told by Practical Paracord. Now when it comes to slinging, there are many techniques out there, but I personally found the most beginner-friendly method, at least to me, has been the helicopter method. And if this is your first time, use a tennis ball against a wall. Do not start with rocks. You grip the sling via your ring finger and middle finger through the loops, and then you pinch the release knot up top between your index and thumb. Then you load up the sling, start swinging at your side, and then as the projectile is rotating forwards, you release by throwing the knot. I'm still not really able to get the sling to crack consistently, but I haven't spent enough time practicing. The main thing here is to let the sling do the work and multiply the force of your arm. Truly imagine that you're throwing the knot at what you're trying to hit. Now, I am far from qualified to teach slinging due to my inexperience, but to learn from some real masters, check out Primal Slinging, Practical Paracord, and Pan Slings, just to name a few on YouTube. I'll link their channels, of course. Now, during this entire process of making to using the sling, something interesting happened to me in that I developed a reverence for the art of slinging. There is a beauty to its simplicity and what can be made and done with a few lengths of rope. Not only that, the act of slinging itself is actually highly enjoyable and very fun. It's a fun way to unwind, and what's great about it is that it's actually easy to learn but hard to master. Slinging can just meet you where you are. You don't necessarily have to learn to be crazy accurate with it, and you can just try to sling something as far as you can. And mainly it's something you can do outside and kind of just use to unplug from everything. And also, for you dog owners out there who like to play fetch with your furry friends, it's a great way to launch a tennis ball that fits in your pocket. And if you want to see my original simple sling video or woven shepherd sling, check these videos out.